Last week we went to Glenarm, a little historic village by the sea on the North Antrim coast of Northern Ireland. That's about 35 miles away from where we live and one of our favourite places to go for a day out. I took along my sketchbook and minimal sketching materials just in case I felt like sketching out in the open. However, when we first arrived, there wasn't much of a view as there was a thick sea mist out at sea rolling in, but we were assured it was burning off, so we decided to stick around and walk along the beach and just enjoy the warm weather. While I was walking along the beach and filming the waves and enjoying the calm sound, I did a little beach clean as I went, lifting some plastic rubbish and anything that shouldn't have been there really. I found a couple of treasures along the way, although I did say I wasn't going to collect any more sea glass or pottery. I did take a couple of little pieces. It's hard to resist. After a cup of tea, we went for a walk towards the harbour. Plenty to see along the way. This is a lovely big piece of driftwood that has been here for the last few visits I've been. It was down on the beach, so maybe someone had it hauled up to stop it floating out to sea again. I could have sat and sketched that. That was one of my options. But as we were out for a walk, we continued on. We crossed the footbridge over the Glenarm River, which takes you to the marina and a walk along the old harbour walls. At the end, we stood and looked out to sea. It was a beautifully calm day, as you can see, and as we stood, we spotted a bird unknown to us at the time, flying in and out, several which turned out to be black guillemots. They were fishing, bringing back fish and flying the whole length of right to the bottom of the harbour between the boats in the marina, and must have been taking the fish to nests on the harbour wall. I've slowed the footage down because they go so fast, and all you see is a flash of black and white, quite penguin-like, or similar to a puffin. At one stage I saw the red feet they have, and so this was a new thing, a new bird spot for me. I'd never seen those before. We also saw house martins and some swallows. I photographed some of the nicely planted up canoes and some public sculpture. We sat and watched the sparkly water. Walking round to the other bridge, filmed some ducks, which I later sketched at home and then painted a little painting, which I'll show you later at the end. I love to watch the birds as we have our picnic in the car. Brought some bird seed with me, which is what they're eating off the ground in this video. There was one black-headed gull making funny noises. I noticed all the gulls sitting along the ridge tiles of the church. So the mist did lift mostly during the day. It got clearer as the day went on, but then started to come back again later on in the evening. It gave some dramatic light effects through the mist with the sun going down. This is when I decided to sit on a bench and do some sketching outdoors. It was a well-used path with lots of people walking by at times. I did feel a bit awkward as usual, sketching out in public. Most people just said hello, but one person did reference my sketching and said they were lovely. Those guillemot birds were working hard and carrying on until sundown, going out to sea and bringing back fish. They just never stopped. I chose a spot looking back towards where our car was parked. So it's on the harbour side, and there were benches there, and it was lovely and warm to sit and sketch. I'll show you the other sketches I made back home from my photographs and memory. This bush beside me here is alive with bees and humming. I added some birds into this one and used a bit of ballpoint to do it, because we saw lots of swallows and house martins. Then back home I did this one and just put some birds in the distance with a pen. And then the church. The birds don't look great in this one, but it gives you the idea. They were all sitting along the roof, and there was a crow sitting on one of the gravestones, on the grave monuments. Oh. These are great. They're probably meant for children, but lots of artists use them. They're water-soluble pencils, chunky, but you can also use them with a brush if you need a finer detail. I just wanted to make these birds a bit more black rather than grey, because they are more black in real life. They move so fast that all you see is a flash of black and white. And you maybe see the red feet if you catch them landing on a cliff. I have to admit, I had to Google some pictures to see some still images of them, because they just move so fast. That'll do. And back home I have sketched out this little river reflections view. It's quite small sized canvas board, 7 by 5 I think. Yeah, 7x5, I remember. And the sketch is done with a watercolor pencil. So I think I'll work on that. So I've set the easel up outside because it's such a nice day, and another nice day. We were at the beach yesterday, so we're happy enough to be at home today. And I'm going to try and paint outside and enjoy the weather. I'm in the shade to try and keep the paints from drying out. You need to be in the shade to see what you're doing, I think. And to avoid glare on the canvas. So that's me finished for this evening. It's now nearly 8:30, I think. I'm sitting in the shade, so it's getting a wee bit chilly. And that's it. I think I'm happy with that. And I used a limited palette, just those colours that you see